welcome to our second series of Shelf Life, brought to you by the University of Western Sydney. We're really looking forward to being with you again to share some great yarns about books and their authors.
Yes, and we have an amazing year ahead of us. We'll be presenting a great range of stories about our favourite topic, the written word.
A few weeks ago, I dropped into the WordinHand at Glebe to hear some spoken word poetry at their monthly night, WordinHand. So welcome to Shelf Life, Jack.
Thanks very much, Rachel.
Can you start by telling us a little bit about WordinHand?
Sure. WordinHand is a spoken word night that happens here at the WordinHand Hotel every first Tuesday of the month, except for January, obviously. We have a 5-person open mic, which everybody gets about 5 minutes. And then later on, we have a couple of featured poets, and then a slam at the end of the evening. The slam is, if you're not familiar with it, a slam, ours is an 8-person slam. Each person gets 2 minutes to impress the audience, and 5 randomly chosen judges then score them on a scale of 1 to 10. We get a winner, or we have a slam off if there's a tie, and the winner gets $50, and the loser, pardon me, the person who comes in second, gets a bottle of Poets Corner wine.
My mom thinks I should be on The Bachelor. My auto response is no way in hell. Because love is not reserved for the scenes lifted. They copy and paste lines as if scripted. We eat them with our lean cuisine, TV dinners. Love is not reserved for the winners, right?
So is it a poetry night?
People say poetry, and I have a trouble with the word poetry and the word spoken word. It's not all bush doggerel, which can be lovely and just enriching, and it's a great part of the Australian cultural life, and so I don't want to run it down. But the sort of things that appear here are the stories of people. So we get quite a mix of people, amateurs, semi-pros, professionals, who all come in and relieve themselves of whatever's on their mind. So I wouldn't necessarily call it poetry, I'd call it engaging spoken word.
I rise and birds migrate, and iron lunge the harm and arm. I am still here.
And how long have you been working the door here?
That's our 4th year, my 4th year.
And you've been here since the beginning?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
with Jack. Me and Jack are old friends.
What do you like about WordinHand?
I love the poetry. I love what everyone's doing on stage. It's just fantastic. And it's different to music or acting or anything else. It's just raw and good.
And for people who haven't performed before or haven't seen poetry before, what might they expect?
It's a nice surprise. And it gives them grounding to have a look if they're wanting to get on the stage. They can see what other people are doing, how nervous they are, how you don't have to be a star to be on the stage. Just be game enough to get up and do it.
I think of sitting around the campfire when we were, you know, wearing bearskins and beginning with language and starting to tell our stories to one another about the hunt or about what Aunt Vivian said about Uncle Fred last Tuesday, you know. But it's those sorts of things that mean something to people. They get up and they talk about it. And
so oral tradition, oral storytelling.
Yeah, it's all oral tradition, and I think it probably doesn't have quite the same cachet that it did when we had to huddle around a fire, all right? But it still engages thoughtful people.
And at the event horizon there, animals, humans, and homes were caught and swallowed by the flames. Yet more, myriads of trees stood bare, blackened, charred to the core, and 4 firefighters fell burning within my weeping heart.
It's a friendly place, brings people together, and we share what is common amongst us, consciousness, other than poetry, because consciousness runs through poetry, and that's beautiful.
So what makes for a good performance?
To me, when I read a poem on the page, I can go back. I can find the linkages from one line to another that are meant to impress in that way. I think of E.E. Cummings particularly in that context. But for spoken word, it needs to be more immediate and more conversational. It can't be quite as obscure, in my view. I don't know that I'm correct, and you'll find people here who violently disagree with me. But to me, spoken word is about communication immediately to people who are present in the room for a moment that will never be recaptured. Whereas the written word is there for as long as your digital media hold out.
It's ephemeral.
The reason this event is really important is because it takes away the filters of the managers, the editors, the directors, the publishers, the publicists, and you get people just raw. You do get people who are rehearsing and respecting their audience and putting on a good show, but it's live and it's direct and it's immediate. It's not someone else kind of giving you a surrogate for themselves, which would be a book or a CD or a film. You're actually seeing the human being interact with the audience, which is great.
Your half-admonishing tone hardened as the years wore on, and remembering me then, the butt of your stories, unsure among so many not quite friends which sighed to show.
And just to finish up, for anybody who might be thinking of coming along and performing on a night, what kind of advice might you offer them?
Just do it. Just do it. The crowd is friendly. No one's going to give you nonsense. The worst they'll do is be silent. All right? So get out and give it a go. That's really the answer. Get out and give it a go.
And that friend in hand stuff sounded really fun too.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's such a high energy night. I mean, you never know what you're going to get, and that's part of the fun of it.
Yeah.